All right, traders, a very warm welcome to the episode 9 of TFA Talks. So, today we'll talk about what we can expect in the markets going forward, which is the 21st of October, Wednesday, 2020. So, before I get started into that, let's talk about what happened in the markets today. So, last night, if you all track the American markets, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P 500. So, last night in the concluding hours of the trade, the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and Nasdaq plunged quite a lot. So from 3458 on the S&P, we plunged all the way to 3420 levels, which was a very big fall. And this, I believe, particularly came due to a lack of conclusion with respect to the stimulus. So the Republicans and Democrats have been talking a lot. They're going into debates and negotiations, but they're not able to come to a conclusion with regards to the stimulus. And I think this was not taken quite well by the Wall Street, and the markets have plunged significantly lower. So if you open the charts of the American markets on a daily time frame, you can see some kind of support has been breached. So the support which can be set here at that green bar on the 15th of October low, it has been breached. So the American markets are looking a little bit weak at this stage, and it looks like the markets, with the ongoing elections around the corner, they are going to plunge a little bit lower and the volatility is going to increase. So American markets, S&P are not looking very good at this point of time. Even the Dow Jones, if we were able to find out the levels, it has given you a new low. It keeps on giving us lower lows and lower highs. So some kind of weakness is persisting in the American market. Same is the case with your NASDAQ. So currently NASDAQ futures are live, as you all know it. So NASDAQ might be able to take a support at 11,600 levels. But if that level is taken out today, then some kind of weakness does persist in the American economy. So before I get into the Indian markets, I really want to talk about the European markets because it is something very important which is happening right now. So let's look at the charts of DAX of Germany. So I've drawn some kind of very simple charting. I've done trend lines. So I've combined the lows of 14th of May, 25th of September, and 16th of October. So what you can see is this trend line has been respected for a very long time now. And currently there's a resistance trend line coming in from the 1st of September to 9th of October, etc. So we are in some kind of a triangular or a consolidation zone. So this is a deciding point for your DAX, where the DAX of Germany wants to go. So there are ongoing, the cases in the coronavirus cases, as I would like to put it, have been increasing now in the European countries. So there is a lot of pressure coming in those regions. And London have already, I think, initiated the social distancing curbs. So there is some kind of pressure of the second wave of coronavirus coming in those regions. So what I want to establish from these charts is that if DAX wants to break down, we have to see what the American markets open. And today, if let's say DAX closes below 12,670 levels, it can give you a breakdown, which will be breaking this long-term trend line. So that will make you bearish in the market in Germany. The last support of DAX, the last line of defense, would be coming around 12,500. This would be one sort of a last line of defense in the German markets, and this can lead your markets to plunge to 11,270s, even to 11,800s. So these levels are quite possible. At the same time, if some kind of positive sentiment comes in the market, then DAX has to break out of this symmetrical triangle formation, which can give a positive sentiment also in the Indian markets. So I would like to say that they're all correlated. So do check these markets out also. The same is the case with our FTSE 100 in the United Kingdom. So there is a trend line which is being followed by the FTSE. It's somewhat of a descending triangle or something like a descending parallel channel that's being formed. So if the FTSE is, it's obviously a little weak, we can see lower highs and lower lows being formed. So it's something consolidation that we can see right now. So FTSE, any close below 5,800 level on the FTSE 100 can lead to a correction in the global markets, which will be not taken quite well by the Indian markets. So we have to keep these small points and small levels on the American markets and the European markets, which will have significant impact on the Indian market. So let's come back to the Nifty future, which is the SGX Nifty. So last night when the American markets plunged, it led to our Indian markets opening lower. So if you see the charts, 5-minute charts of Nifty, today Nifty did open flat and made a plunge to the 837 level. So it was a very big 50-60 point plunge, which we were not expecting. But this 820, 830 is a very good cushion for the Nifty index, and we are seeing multiple buyings which are happening at these 820 levels. So going forward, this level will become quite important. So coming back to the SGX Nifty, which are the Nifty futures being traded in Singapore. So currently, I just have listened to the Honorable Prime Minister Modi's address. The street was expecting some kind of stimulus or some kind of big news to flow in, as the Prime Minister does not appear before the country very often. So, but it was not something like that. The main reason why the Prime Minister has come alive was just to give a word of caution because of the increasing and the surge in coronavirus cases in the global society, mainly America and the European countries. Since we're going into a season of festivities, starting from Navratri, Dussehra, Diwali, Guru Nanak Jayanti, Eid, etc. So he has just basically given a word of caution to be safe going forward. So there is not much of an impact on the market per se. So it has been taken positively by the market as I look at the SGX data. So no big deal on that front right now. So talking about Nifty, what happened in Nifty today? So we had even though markets plunged down to the 837 levels, we had some kind of bullish pressure coming in because the 820 level, 11,820 level is very significant on Nifty, which made your markets drive up to 11,950. But exactly at 12 o'clock, which is the half time of your markets, when the lunch zone basically starts, we saw a very big correction in the markets. It's about a 60-70 point correction came into the markets. And if you see the structure of Nifty, it turned to a lower, you tried to breach that, but you could never breach that high which was made on Nifty. And you kept on making a lower high and a lower low kind of formation on the 5-minute chart. So some kind of bearishness has come into Nifty in the last 3 hours of the trade. And as you all know, it is rightly said that markets can open anywhere and they can go anywhere during the day, but they always close at the right time. The reason is because the professionals, the 130 to 330 is a professional zone. So always your professionals see what is the intrinsic price and intrinsic value of the stocks and drive the stocks up or down depending upon what that is. So tomorrow, this brings to my analysis of tomorrow. So if Nifty opens flat tomorrow, it's quite obvious seeing the 3-hour correction in Nifty in the markets today. So if markets open flat tomorrow, it is likely to continue on the downside. So I'll be more skewed on the downside if markets are opening flat, which is around 910, 890. So plus minus 10, it's going to be a little bit bearish side. So you can see a current support coming in at 880 levels. This zone is giving you a good cushion. So 880 to 870. This is a zone which has got a lot of support. So I'll just write it down for all of you. So 870 to 880 levels on Nifty is a support. So if you are holding, if you are, let's say, opening flat, markets, obviously you have to understand the psychological aspect, because technicals are one thing and psychology and the emotional aspect is another thing. So if the sellers want to drive the market down tomorrow, they will open the markets close to flat, and they will do that in the first hour of the trade. They will not wait for the markets to go all the way higher to 950 and then drive it down. Because if the markets go higher back to 950, then they will not be able to break this 870 level in any case. So if the markets have to fall tomorrow, they will be doing that in the first hour of the trade, considering that 11,870, 880 range is just around the corner. So markets opening flat, or if the markets open gap down below 870, what can happen is this 870 can become a resistance. We can see some kind of pullback, gap filling kind of thing. And then markets can again plunge to lower levels, which I'll be giving you in a while. So if the markets open gap up, then you will have to see some kind of price action. So then if the markets open gap up, so the current closing price will become some kind of support. So you can try to fill the gap, come to the support of 900, 870, 880, whatever that is. And then you can continue higher to 11,950. So tomorrow, I would say it becomes very important where the markets are opening. So let's look at the Nifty externals, and then I'll come to the internals again to give you the exact levels which you can trade on the upside and on the downside. So Nifty is still under this big red candle influence. So as long as the red candle is not broken, we are not going to see a lot of movement in the market. I mean, aggressive movement, I would say. So if 12,020 is broken on the upside, it's going to give you aggressive buying. And if 660 or 670 levels is broken on the downside, it will give you some kind of aggressive selling. So currently we are in some kind of consolidation range. So I will always suggest, if you are in this range, you can trade. I'm not stopping you. Either you can be stock specific or you can reduce your normal quantity. So let's say you trade 5 lots of Nifty at a particular point of time. You can now trade about 2 or 3 lots. So reduce quantity, because currently we're in a volatile stage and there is not much confirmation where we want to go. So if you look at the internals of Nifty, so today in our mentorship forum, we had given that if 11,940 level is not closed, if you're not closing above that, you still are some kind of weak. So that will follow. I'll explain the levels going forward. So 11,940 is a very, very strong resistance going forward. The level has been tested for quite some time. The level has been tested for quite some time. So this 11,940 level will be important going forward. So the level can be 940 all the way to 950. On the upside, the immediate resistance will be coming at 11,980, which is a very intermediate level. But 12,020 level will be a very, very important level to protect. So tomorrow, I would say if you go above, if you are trading 15 minutes above 11,940, this will mean that you want to go higher, which can drive your markets down to 12,020. That will be an important point. And if we are closing above 12,020, then it will be a buy on dip market for sure. On the other side, on the flip side of the coin, 870, as I've already given you, is a very, very important level. 870 to 880 is a level we have to protect. So as long as we are staying above that, if we are keep on closing above that, we have some kind of cushion here. So tomorrow, if we start trading below 870, then the initial targets will come to 11,820. 11,820 then becomes the next target. So 11,870 followed by 11,820, which can lead to the gap filling going to a 770 also. So as long, if for example, tomorrow we are closing below 11,870, this will establish some kind of weakness. But if you close below 11,820 tomorrow, which is quite possible, then this will mean you are still in some kind of a sell on rise market. And if you close above 940 tomorrow or any of the days to follow, this will make you a buy or dip market. And I would suggest every person who is in shorts should try to exit and should try to buy on dip in the market. So currently we are in some kind of range on the internals. Above 940 is a good buy. Below 870 will be a good sell. These are the levels you have to keep in mind for Nifty going forward. Talking about Bank Nifty now. Bank Nifty on the daily chart, it's given a clear breakout, which was quite simple. So Bank Nifty gave a very good breakout yesterday, and that's the reason we have seen the markets have been led by banks and IT. I was very happy to see IT companies leading the gain today after some kind of correction and profit booking in the past few sessions. So banking companies yesterday and today, they have done quite well. HDFC Bank was a good gainer, which kept Nifty and Bank Nifty higher. So going forward, Bank Nifty is more strong as compared to Nifty. So the level on the externals I can see right now is 24,500. The reason I give this level to you all is because 24,500 is the highest closing that you are seeing in the market in the last 5, 7, 8 months. Basically, since the coronavirus crash, you haven't seen a higher closing than 24,500. You know, the level of 31st August is not important because you couldn't close above that. You were actually closing below. So 24,500 is a level that the bears will be protecting. So if the markets, we've been seeing this markets every day, they try to head towards a 24,500 where bears are very strong and they are protecting that level. So I would say 24,500 becomes the last line of defense for the bears. So if that is broken on a closing basis, please do go long, because then we'll see 24,800, 25,200. Then these levels will be achieved in a very few minutes, I would say few sessions. Sorry about that. So that is one level I would like to talk about. Going on the internals of Bank Nifty. So 24,000 currently looks like a very, very strong level that the bulls are protecting. We have seen a lot of support and resistance coming at the 24,000 round number. You can see a very good support on 19th October, another one on 20th October. So this level is being protected by our bulls. So tomorrow, if you have to go for an aggressive sell, you would go on an aggressive selling spree below 24,000. Any 15-minute close below 24,000 will lead to lower levels, which would come to 23,700 or 23,800. So these levels can come, but any closing below this 24,000 round number will create some kind of panic, because the bulls will have lost their fight, against the bears. At the same time, any closing above 24,500 on a 15-minute basis can give you good buying in the market. So for Bank Nifty, I would like you to maintain these levels. We have got some kind of intermediate levels that I have to give you. There is some kind of level which is coming at 24,150. That's a very good 24,150, 24,180 is an intermediate level that you can deal with. So you can try to do some selling below 24,150 if it comes on a 15-minute basis, and increase quantity if you go below 24,000. On the upside, I would like to stick with the 24,500. Unless that is broken, we do stay in some kind of a range bound market. So we are basically yet deciding where the markets have to go for Nifty and Bank Nifty. So that's our analysis for the index. I do want to talk about a couple of stocks before I conclude the meeting. So where Nifty has to go will really depend upon what the top 5 constituents of Nifty are doing. So the main constituent of Nifty is Reliance. And if you see the daily charts of Reliance, we've covered this earlier. It has given a good breakdown. This trend line, which was being held for quite some time, had been broken. At the same time, the 2180 level was a very good level for the bulls to protect. That's also been broken. So now the levels for Reliance on the downside of 2120, 2060, all these levels are opening up. So with Reliance being weak right now is going to create a little bit problem for Nifty, because Nifty does go up because of its constituents, and it only needs a little bit of a support from Bank Nifty. You have to understand, Bank Nifty cannot drive Nifty higher. It can to some extent, but Nifty will sustain higher mainly because of Reliance, TCS, Infosys, HDFC, etc. So that is something we have to keep in mind. So if the main constituent of Nifty is not doing well, I can't expect Nifty to go to 12, 100, etc. So I'll have to reduce my quantity unless and until Reliance shows me some kind of promise. So if Reliance starts to trade above 2180 on a closing basis, then some kind of confidence can be developed. But overall, if you ask me, as long as Reliance is below this trend line, so this trend line that I have drawn, as long as Reliance is below this trend line, it will be bearish. So it is hard to believe, but Reliance will be taking pressure here, and it is in some kind of a sell on rise for me at the moment. Now let's talk about HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank was one of the people who have kept Nifty afloat and has kept Bank Nifty afloat. So HDFC Bank, crazy buying, I would say, will come above the 1240 levels. Above 1240, HDFC Bank will get some kind of good buying. So if HDFC Bank goes up 10, 20 points, it can really get your Bank Nifty up to 200 to 400 points. So this is some stock you'll have to keep in your mind when you analyze the markets. So HDFC Bank, whatever direction HDFC Bank will go, is going to also influence the markets. The other 3 constituents are HDFC. So HDFC and HDFC Bank, they basically move sort of together. So HDFC Bank has got some kind of a resistance. So if the HDFC, NBFC, if it goes above the 2040 levels, this will create some kind of a buying in the market, because HDFC Bank have good weightage in Nifty. So that's something you have to keep in mind. And finally, we have the IT stocks, which is the Infosys and TCS. These are 2 companies which have a very good hold on Nifty. So we'll have to understand them going forward. So Nifty IT, the index, has taken a good support here. So it hasn't really filled the gap. So if Nifty IT starts to trade below 21,400, it can lead to 21,000. Sorry about that. So if Nifty IT starts to trade below 21,400, it can lead to a gap filling to 21,000, which can create some kind of bearishness in the market. So currently it looks like a bullish engulfing sort of a candle. So some kind of support is taken by the IT company. So overall, if you look, all the 4 other constituents, all the 4 other constituents are doing quite good, whereas Reliance is not really doing good. So we'll have to see where all the other companies are performing. So looking at TCS, we had some kind of buying in TCS today. So it has filled the gap and it is taking some kind of support here. So try to analyze what TCS is doing, try to see what Info is doing, and accordingly, we'll try to trade the markets. So that's it for now, guys. Leave a comment how you like the video. If you didn't like it, subscribe to our channel and stay in touch with us. If you have any doubts, leave us a WhatsApp or schedule a call with us at our phone number, which is 8080-343-031. Or you can leave us a message on our Instagram page. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching.